Hey everyone, it's me again, Yvonne Emil Elizondo, and I'm here with a quick video update on the cosmos, what's going on astrologically. So it is not a full moon and it is not a new moon, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that is happening right now that I'm sensing and that I know several other people have reached out to me and told me that they're sensing as well, especially a friend of mine from high school. And he mentioned, oh my gosh, there was so much going on with Mercury and Mars and Virgo. And so that prompted me to record this quick video and maybe give you some insight on what's going on. And, maybe you all can share, if you're noticing any of these manifestations happening in your life. I would love to hear about them. Okay, so I'm going to show you the chart real quick because I like to show the chart. Just kind of gives a visual, see what I'm talking about, so y'all don't think I'm just completely crazy. Okay, so this is a chart that we are working with. This chart is for tomorrow, the 19th. It's the 19th at about 4 o'clock, 4:30 or so, tomorrow afternoon. But the reason I chose this is because the energy that I'm sharing with you right now has been building up and it will continue to build up, but tomorrow is probably going to be the most intense of all because the moon is involved. All right, so let's take a look. So this right here is Uranus. Uranus right now is stationed. Anytime there's an S next to a planet, that means that it is stopped from our perspective. It is stopped in the sky. It is super, super intense, right? And so there's Taurus. So Uranus and Taurus, we're going to talk about that. Uranus and Taurus is creating a beautiful connection with Mercury and Mars conjunction in Virgo. We're going to talk about that. And then the other aspects that are going on is here we have Jupiter retrograde and opposing the sun. So Jupiter is in Aquarius and the sun is in Leo. And then tomorrow we are going to have this Pluto retrograde and moon conjunction in Capricorn. And that's why I chose this particular chart to show you tomorrow, because this is a build up to all of this energy. So again, that was the chart for Thursday, August 19th. And today is August 18th. So happy birthday, Larry. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful birthday. Okay, back to the cosmos. All right, so that Uranus energy, that Uranus energy that's stationed right now, it started on Monday, and it's going to stay stationed or remain stationed, remain, same thing, until this following Monday, the 23rd. And so when Uranus is stationed, it is super, super strong. When any planet, from our perspective, is stationed, it is really, really, really strong. Uranus is about change. It's about sudden change. It's about electrifying. It's about bringing a lot of, amp. It's like kind of sticking your finger in the socket and kind of going bzz, bzz, bzz. Okay, so it brings sudden changes, very clear, high-minded insights, right? It's a higher self perspective of the mind. It's about bringing clarity. It's about making the changes that we need to make very clear, very concise. And then sometimes it just kind of brings changes and you're kind of knocked on your butt because of it, right? So Uranus right now is stationed. So you may be noticing that there are changes that are happening, sudden changes that are manifesting for you. And now Uranus is in Taurus. Taurus represents the body, the physical world. It represents safety. It can represent money as well, your finances. It can represent food, right? So we know that we are having some issues with, the food industry right now, and they're making changes in a whole bunch of different parts of the world. But it also represents territory, right? So if you take a look at the news and you see what's going on in the Middle East, we have these sudden radical changes that are happening. Again, this is a time when we're going to see this. This has been building up. This week is where it's, the most strong. And so you may find yourself having sudden, flashes of insight or sudden feelings of needing to change or sudden feelings of release. And I'm going to share with you how that's working out in my chart a little bit later. Okay, so that Uranus station in Taurus is making a beautiful trine. And a trine is when planets are in the same element. So Taurus is Earth. So now we have that Mercury. right? Mercury is the mind. Mercury is about thinking, it's about communication, it's about travel. And then Mars is a planet of motivation, action, aggression, potentially, right? So when Mercury and Mars come together, okay, you can, and we're going to talk about Virgo, but you can definitely feel, okay, that sense of emotion bubbling up, right? Because Mars tends to be a separator, okay? Anytime that we have a separator going on, okay, especially in the mind, we may feel a little bit discombobulated or a lot discombobulated, right? And in Virgo, both of those planets are really looking at the details, okay? Virgo is about the fine tuning of those details. And so we can feel that sudden emotion. We can feel anger. We can feel frustration. We might be feeling like we need to really make those changes with Uranus stationing, and we feel like electrified, and we feel like maybe we're just kind of like anxious, and we're not really quite sure how to ground ourselves, right? So there may be a lot of intense emotional feelings, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's expressing itself in a negative way. It just may mean that these are things that you may need to feel in order to be able to move beyond something, or release something, or initiate change, or have clarity of mind by making changes, right? Okay, so that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is that Jupiter retrograde in Aquarius and opposing Leo in yes, the sun in Leo. The sun is our sense of self-expression, right? It's where we shine light upon something. And in Leo, it's about that fire energy, right? It's about putting yourself way out there. It's about really having that confidence and that strength and that fortitude. And then all of a sudden, here comes Jupiter retrograde in an air sign. Okay, so air and fire. What do you think happens when we put air and fire together? Yes, we tend to have a bigger than, right? An explosion of some sort, potentially, an inflammation of, okay? And Jupiter retrograde in Aquarius isn't functioning all that great right now, okay? It is retrograde, which means that for you individually, you might be feeling these emotional, fiery inflammation. It could be inflammation of the body, it can be inflammation of the heart. Leo represents the heart. It could be your physical heart, it could be your, your spiritual heart, but there's a sense of more than grandiose. It goes way beyond. So you may start to experience some drama, in your life that's kind of coming out of nowhere. So again, this transit is going to be relatively quickly, going to transit relatively quickly, but you may be feeling this the next few days. And then, of course, we have the moon and Pluto in Capricorn. Now, this is why I chose the chart for tomorrow, Thursday, the 19th. But again, we're working with this energy because it's starting to build up. But on the 19th, you're really going to feel all of this energy because the moon is an activator. So the moon in Capricorn doesn't do all that great. It is at detriment. Okay, it has a very difficult time. The moon is about emotions and perception and connection. Okay, it's about feelings. And Capricorn, not that we don't have any feelings, we obviously do. But Capricorn is cold earth. Right? It is that mountain. It's climbing up the mountaintop. And so when we have this cold earth, right, and we have this planet of the moon that's about emotions, it has a hard time traveling through that particular part of the zodiac. And so when the moon comes together with this Pluto retrograde, okay, and we have, well, I want to make sure that I just said that correctly because I don't want to be giving you misinformation. And if I do that, yep, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Pluto retrograde in Capricorn is also super intense. It's not functioning very well. It's probably more, there's more of an intensification. Pluto's about destruction, transformation. A lot of people use transformation, okay? But it's about bringing a sudden, hardcore change. When Pluto and the moon, especially Pluto retrograde, and the moon in Capricorn get together, there is a significant amount of potentially difficult emotions to combat, okay? Individually, that could show up, in different ways in your chart, but tomorrow you may feel that intensification of emotions, not really be able to kind of discern how to maneuver through them because, again, the moon in Capricorn has a more of a difficult time. But needless to say, this Uranus station trining Mercury and, Mars in Virgo, this is an amazing time to sit with yourself and see what kind of changes need to be made that are going to be expressed in the physical world. Okay, what kind of details do we need to gather? What kind of internal processing do we need to do, decision making, so that we can bring those changes about in our physical reality? Virgo is about healing. Okay, it's about details, but it's also the healer of the zodiac. So what changes do we need to do to heal? Now, in my particular chart, I'm not going to go the ins and outs of it, but I'll just show you how this is manifesting. And I was kind of like, oh, wow, didn't realize this. The past, I think since this weekend, okay, I have been working with amazing, my friend Julie. She's an amazing energy healer. I've been working with a mentor that I have. He is a wonderful mage, okay, does amazing energy work as well. Cindy, okay, Cindy is amazing too. I've been working with her and we've been studying, and she's also tapping into energy, right? And then today I had an amazing healing session, physical healing session, with an amazing therapist named Maria. And all of this has brought about, for me, an intense emotional release, physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. It has been, the last few days have been absolutely transformational for me. And I have to say that this Uranus station is happening in my first house of self. Yes, I'm Taurus rising, which means that I have this Uranus station, this energy of change and insight and sudden radical changes is happening in my first house of self. And because it's wonderfully placed with that Mercury, the mind, and that action of Mars in Virgo, the healing. There's so much healing that I have been experiencing, and I am so grateful to each and one of my practitioners and my friends that have been sending me amazing juju. And I wish I could tell you the ins and outs, but I'm not gonna bore you with all of that. But anyhow, so that's it. That's what we're dealing with, at least this week. Okay, take advantage of the energy. Sit with yourself. Allow the insights, the symbols, the visions, the thoughts, the words to come through. Pay attention to your dreams. I've been having some majorly, clearly massive dreams that I'm like, whoa, I got this. And that's how we use astrology for our benefit. All right, everyone, if you want to learn more about astrology, or if you want to learn where this energy might be, manifesting in your chart, reach out to me, please. You can find me at spiritualessence.com. That's spiritual-essence.com, or reach out to me right here, and I will be happy to get together with you and get you some insights. All right, everyone. I hope this has been helpful. Take care. Blessed be.